It's your boy, not Coach Tomlin. My boy Cody Brody's out here with the Big Ben jersey on today,
Shout out.
representing
Bring
the
it, baby. Bring it on. Or had to wear it today.
Hall of Honor inductee, Big Ben. Did you see his speech?
I did not. Honestly, I did not.
So
Oh, you're talking about the one with Pouncey that he shouted out with Pouncey towards that.
yeah,
I did watch that. You sent it to me, and then I was like, let me watch the whole thing. It was good.
yeah, man. Hey, I had my gripes about him in the last few years he played, man, but nobody can take away what he did
Yeah.
in
Well,
his career.
you can't. He got older. His body was broken down after all those years. It is
Yeah,
what it is.
and he knew it, and then
Um.
he was like, "Let me just get all my money I could get from these guys now."
Yeah.
And as long as Kevin Colbert and then will sign off on it, I'm going to take it. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
I understand, but it's still it held us back. But whatever, he's a legend.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a special night for Pittsburgh for sure. So I was happy that they came out of there with the win. But yeah, let's jump into it. The first quarter, not
First
the
quarter,
best
I missed.
from either team. It wasn't good by either side, honestly. Miami
I missed
had
part
that
of the
big
first
play.
quarter.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, because I was putting my daughter down to bed, so I missed part of the first quarter. When I came downstairs, I believe the Steelers got the ball and then 3-and-out it, punted it right back.
Yeah.
And then I had to go do something else for her, and I came back and then the Steelers were punting again. I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, I mean Miami opened up with that big like 25 yard play, and I was like, "Oh, that's not what we want to do." And then Pitt got the stop and got him to punt. But yeah, the first quarter overall was boring, other than our guy Asante Samuel, baby, with that interception. That was awesome to see him make a big play.
No,
I'm so
I know that had to feel great for him, man.
yeah,
He's
and he
battled
did.
back.
That was a horrible decision by Tua, but it was also a smart play by him because he knew that there was no one else on that side of the field, so he dropped back and covered it appropriately. So I was just happy to see him to get one for himself.
Yeah, that was huge, man. That's huge for his confidence.
Yeah,
He's played the past couple of weeks, but as far as real action, he had to start this week. You know what I mean?
yeah,
James
yeah,
Pierre was out. Pierre Island, and
yeah,
I think he'll be back next week. But I was happy to see the way these guys played out there, man. And I think it was a combination, just overall defensively, combination of that complementary style of football that we talk about, man, top to bottom.
yeah,
The pressure is able to get home when the back end is taking care of business, and
yeah,
that's what it seemed to be out there. Joey and Asante, and then Jalen everywhere. Duggar.
yeah. Yeah, it definitely took our offense a little while to get going. Even in the second quarter, it took about until 6 minutes left
Yep.
to put a nice drive together. Like
Yep.
the Steelers they got into Miami territory a couple times and had to settle for a punt. Like we were in field goal range in the first quarter, got sacked, and then put us out of field goal range. But I think after that second quarter, after the touchdown, um, it led us into the second half with a little bit of momentum, and then we open up. I think we did open up with a TD, right? Yeah,
Opened up with a
because
second half touchdown.
yeah,
I think this is the second week in a row. I think we did it against Baltimore last week too. Am I right?
I believe
I
so.
think
I
so.
believe so. Yeah, and but Gainwell. I mean, the first play of the half was Gainwell. Like, what was that? A 35-yard run or
Yeah,
something? It was
something
a
like
huge
that.
play. And it just kind of opened that up for the Steelers offense, and then your boy, he came and saved the day. MVS
What did I
baby.
tell y'all? What did I say? Don't worry, help is on the way. The Steelers are 2-0 with MVS on the roster, in the active
Yeah.
roster. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that was it was good to see Rodgers throwing that touchdown pass. I know he's been dying to get into the end zone.
Yeah, because I saw them. I was watching the Manning cast, so I don't hear what the live broadcast is saying. But I saw the camera pan over to MVS with the jacket on and everything while the offense was out there, and I'm like, why they still not playing my boy? Like, what's going on? And that's when I went.
Yeah.
That's when I went and texted it. And then next thing you know, it was like I seen Aaron drop back, and then who catches the touchdown? Number 11.
Wide open. Yeah. No, it was a good it seemed like it was a
And you
good
know
scheme.
what? That looked like a play that they haven't called all year. A double crosser. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
And with a receiver that knows what he's doing, they didn't run into each other.
Yep.
No, it was nice. yeah, they score on the last drive of the half. They open up scoring, so it's 14-3, and then
3-0.
Ramsey gets the sack on the next
Yep.
possession, which was awesome. I love when he blitzes and he's able to get to the quarterback. And then
And that's
we did get
that's a
Sater.
perfect example of the defense doing what they had to do on the back end to allow for the
Yeah.
pass rush to get there.
Oh,
Because Tua
absolutely.
rolled out and he just looked so confused. Like he cut the field in half for himself, and then for some reason he
Yeah.
doesn't throw it away, so he gets popped instead. So whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Then Steelers the next drive, they kind of get saved with that 12th man on that third down play.
Yep.
And then a couple plays, maybe even the next play, it was that dart to DK.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've never seen somebody do a stiff arm in that manner. Like normally you get the stiff arms where you throw a person that way. He threw them the opposite way.
Listen,
And
man.
I'll give Minka the benefit of the doubt. Like his momentum
Listen,
was carrying him, but DK manhandled that guy.
chill. I don't want to talk about that play because Minka's my guy. You know that. You know Minka's my boy. It was a third down. That was a third down conversion, though.
It was a third down.
It
Okay,
was
yeah.
like 3rd and 12 or something like that. And the protection held up real well. Shout out to Dylan Cook, man. Dylan Cook
Yeah.
stepped in first start going against Brad Chubb and Judon and
Zero pressures a lot,
yeah,
right?
they just clamped it up on a blind side, man. But yeah, he threw that dig. It looked like it was a thread the needle kind of pass. It was like almost
Mhm.
kind of vintage. One of those passes that DK would typically drop too, actually.
Yeah.
So
Like
for
with
him to
him
catch it, I'm like, where are you going? And then next thing you know, he just did what he did to Minka, and
Yeah.
then Minka got pancaked by Calvin Austin right after that too. It was just a bad rep for my boy, man. But
Yeah,
it
it
had to
was
be
it was rough.
it had to be him, unfortunately. And then DK stiff from somebody else into the end zone. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, we
It
getting a
was
little
it was a
crazy.
play that we haven't seen for at least from our team, and like we don't get those kind of like big plays that are just like, oh shit. Like we've seen obviously Darnell do his trucking and stuff
Mhm.
like that, like Warren does it, but like for a touchdown we don't get plays like that. I feel like we're just like, holy crap. But it was just great to see. And then I think the whole third quarter the defense held Miami to negative yards.
Yeah, like negative
And then
20 or
for
something like that.
Yeah, I know they were at -1, I think maybe before their last drive or something. But the defense really held them in check. And then, the fourth quarter was as boring as the first quarter. It was kind of like, okay, we scored one more touchdown. We were showing off there, as you said, with the Jonnu toss for the touchdown.
Like he just wanted
Yeah,
to make all the fantasy owners upset because nobody
I
has
know.
Jonnu Smith on their team. Everybody
Nobody.
has Jalen Warren going for the playoff time, or Kenny
Yeah,
Gainwell,
yeah.
and Jonnu Smith catches one of those patented Steeler toss plays that we hate and
Yep.
houses it like 20 yards,
Yeah.
houses it.
I know. It was an interesting look. I kind of like I like the look. I think he got a handoff in the first half as well. They had him in the backfield, but it was just funny. And then after that, it's kind of Steelers went into coast mode,
Yep.
and I don't love that, But at the end of the day, Miami's offense decided to take their good old time on driving
Yeah,
down the
they
field.
gave up. They
And
gave up,
Craig
and
made it
they
very
gave up
known.
on that play in particular. That Jonnu touchdown. I was like, they didn't even try it. At that point, it was like
Yeah,
the cold had got to them. They got off the
yeah,
plane and they were all like, "Oh, we're gonna go practice in the snow." Nah, that cold
yeah.
finally got their ass at the end because it was like they
No,
couldn't do nothing.
definitely. No, they couldn't. And again, Troy had mentioned on the broadcast, of like, what the heck is Miami doing? Like they're
They're
taking their
taking their
time,
time,
and the
literally.
Steelers were okay with it. So normally I'd be like, let's kind of like up the score a little bit. But the way that Dolphins were moving the ball, I guess there was no real threat for them to even come back in the game. But
And then
I mean,
Waller gets his 2 touchdowns, and then
yeah,
and then an onside kick, which of course I held my breath for a half second because Adam Thielen completely whiffed on it.
whiffed. Yeah,
And shout out to Connor
he was.
Hayward. Connor
Yeah, he
Hayward
was
had the
smart
play.
enough to stay there. Well, that
Yep.
was good. So yeah, what are your overall thoughts though on this game now that we kind of broke down the quarters real quickly?
I thought it was as complete of a game as we've seen this year so far.
Yep.
It was one of those games where we don't know which version of either team we were going to get.
Yeah.
But Miami coming in on a hot streak and being able to run the ball effectively. I know that they were playing a lot of lesser opponents, so to speak, but
Yeah.
to be able to do something to be able to run the ball consistently in the NFL, like it's the NFL. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, given the run struggles that we've had on defense, and knowing that Harmon wasn't going to be in, I wasn't sure what it was going to look like going into this game because Achan is, he's liable to take 185 yards at any given
Yeah.
time. So to keep him in check, I knew that was going to be a big thing. So to be able to keep him in check, it really kept the whole offense in check. They couldn't do anything else really, So defensively, being able to they got off the field a couple times on third down, but what was more important to me was the offense being able to sustain drives. And then eventually, right, once they started getting going, Aaron started getting his groove, putting points on the board. So like when you put points on the board and give this defense rest, like this is what you see. So like, am I going to get my hopes up? No, I'm not. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh well, we're gonna really have to take this team week by week. Let's see if we're gonna really stack together some consistency because the last 3 games aren't slouches. You know what I mean? So, and then obviously it's playoff time if we get a ticket to the dance. But if we handle this business here, these last 3 games, we got a ticket to the dance, a home game at that. So, I guess if there's going to be a time for them to prove me wrong and actually be consistent, is right now. And this was a good last week and this week were a good start to that. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it for sure. I love the fact that the Steelers came out and they were hitting. They came out defensively and they wanted to hit some. Both teams really did, honestly. Like the Dolphins, they had some pops on our guys, which you normally you won't see in freezing weather like that. You're maybe a little bit more timid as a defensive back, especially, or just a defensive player, of like wanting to really go hit someone. But I thought the Steelers did a great job with that and tackling overall. So that was good to see them out there and wanted to hurt someone, so to speak. Again, I didn't like how comfortable they were in the fourth quarter, but that kind of goes without saying. TJ Watt, honestly, I hate to say it wasn't. I love the guy. He's my guy, but he wasn't incredibly missed last night, which was kind of surprising. And I think that shows a lot to the depth of the Steelers defensively and how they can plug guys in no matter who is out, and they can take advantage of it and make a difference, which I love.
Right, that's a good thing, because obviously when he's in the fold, there's a lot of attention paid to him. As far as offenses go, we won't be foolish enough to act like he's not getting chipped a lot. But even in his one-on-ones, man, he's the win rate, if you will, isn't where it used to be. At least on film, from what I'm looking at. So
it's tough when you're getting chipped 65% of the 70% of the game, whatever it is. So
exactly. So but to see Herbie out there doing what he's doing, and I remember those guys. They did an interview on Cam Hayward's podcast over the summer on the Not Just Football podcast. The two of them, Herbie and TJ, and TJ's like, I'm trying to learn some of his moves. You know what I mean? So like for him to be the all world guy that he is, he's still trying to learn different. Trying to get his bag different. So for Herbie to come out, and it's not surprising to us. We've been talking about how much he needed to play. So Herbie and Smitty switching it up, Jack Sawyer getting in on the action.
Yeah,
this is what we've been looking for. You know what I'm saying? And even I think Cam got a sack.
Yep, he did.
Nunu, he's still here and there, but as far as pass rushing, that he could use some of that quickness where he lacks on that rush and the double and the run game. And so when these guys could get going, and then the blitz packaging with Peyton Wilson and PQ dialing them up and actually getting home, like it can get scary if these guys could really be consistent. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is I don't like they seem like they're locking in. And that's what we need.
They do. Oh yeah, they definitely do. I agree. And Patrick Queen has been great the past a few weeks. Especially last night. He was big for us, and he's come a long way with the Steelers. So I'm happy now to see him play more consistently and actually go and freaking hit someone and make those tackles that he needs to make. I don't think we can praise Gainwell enough for what he's done to this team. When the Steelers got him, I was like, I love that pickup, just because we saw how he could be with Philly. He's like, people want to consider him just like a come out of the field and catch the ball, but he can run. And I love the fact that the Steelers have given him that opportunity. I love the fact that you don't hear anything from Warren on like, hey, maybe I need more carries or touches or
No.
whatever. It's a nice mix up between the two backs, and
Yep.
the way they're using Gainwell is awesome. The way he's running has changed a little bit of the Steelers' offense because he's able to take those negative plays and make them into positive.
Yep. He's
So
making
it's
somebody
just a
miss.
bonus
He's
to
making
have
the first
him.
person miss most times.
Yeah, no,
And,
he is. He is.
the thing
And
I
then
like
you still
about
have
those
Warren
guys,
who can do
especially
what he does.
like you mentioned, man, is that I don't know if you follow those guys on the social, but anytime I see a picture of Jalen, Kenny, and Caleb are with him. Like it's
Yeah,
all three of them. They always take it's all three of them together.
yeah,
Their running back room is real tight. It looks like, or at least it seems that way. First person on to the sideline when one of them scores, first person to meet him is the other one. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's what you want to see. Like you said, there's nobody complaining about nothing. Everybody eats. Um,
mhm,
and they both have found success. You know what I mean? And they both can be dual threat both ways. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They both can run the ball and they both can catch. So
yeah.
to be able to incorporate getting them both involved, man, is big.
Yeah, and the entire offense just looked like they had a different swag last night in general.
Mhm.
They seemed super comfortable. They seemed super confident, and they just came out and impressed against a super hot Dolphins team. Now, if this game happened in like week 3 or 4 when the Dolphins were ass and it was like, dude, Dolphins aren't going to make the playoffs, blah blah blah, I would be like, okay, let's just chalk it up till we beat another bad team.
Right.
But we beat a playoff contender. They're fighting for a playoff spot as well. And this is only our second comfortable win going back to, the Browns, really.
Yeah.
So to have it this late in the season against a team that's been super hot, it was definitely the most impressive win for the Steelers. And I'm happy it did come at this time of the year because although I'm still not like super confident, it's just nice to see them play good football
Right.
late in the season.
Right. I mean, like those games, it's a game that you look at. Because I mean, the Dolphins aren't a great team. You know what I mean? But like you said, they're like momentum is all you need in the league to
Yeah.
string together a bunch of wins.
Yep.
So like to do it in that manner was great. But it was a game that like I said, didn't know which version of which team we were going to get. So like
Yeah.
going into it is like, all right, this is the game we should win, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know which version of the Steelers are going to come out this week. So like the version of the Steelers that we are hopeful for came out this week and got a comfortable win. I mean, like I said, man, that onside kick still had me like a little. Come on, man. Still a little
Yeah.
because they just like you said, the fourth quarter was like the game was already over and everybody was kind of just waiting for the time to run.
Yeah.
They took their foot off the gas. The Dolphins were like, well, let me just see if we can score at the end. Like, why not? Let's just see if we can just get a bucket real quick. And then they did. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, if they get this onside kick now, they're only down one score. You know what I mean? So like that part of it was kind of just like, I knew there wasn't really like realistically a chance that the Dolphins were going to win the game, but even for like a half second, I was like, all right, they made it a little too close, But I imagine, or I would hope that when you play a higher caliber type team, if we do have the opportunity to get ahead like that we're going to actually, apply
So
the pressure.
call pass plays and stuff. Take a couple chances. And speaking of passing, we haven't touched on it yet, but Rodgers, he was great, man. He had another really, really good game for us, and he seemed comfortable. He had maybe a couple times where he did that thing in the pocket where it's like just go down. So I think he
Go
needs to be
down
a
and
little
just
bit.
throw it away, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, just go down because it's going to be intentional grounding because he's unable to get out of the pocket. But he seemed very confident. The hard counts all night really, I think, mess with the Dolphins because he'd switch it up and then he wouldn't do a hard count. It would be a quick snap. There was one play in particular. He did it on a third down where it was a quick snap and they got it out to Gainwell for the first down. And I was like, I love that. I love how he set it up, and then he was able to do a quick snap to get it out. So he seemed comfortable. He played really well. He distributed the ball very well to his receivers. So it was just good to see him almost like an old Rodgers. I know he loves playing in the cold, being from Green Bay. So I think he's comfortable in that kind of condition. And
Yep.
obviously, playing in Pittsburgh, you're going to get that. So
Right.
it was good to see.
Yeah, yeah. Man, he like you said, man, he looks comfortable, poised. He's starting to trust the line a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he had that moment or two where he kind of like stopped for a second and looked around.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, the pass is coming out. He's got the arm is still there. The arm talent is still there. Um, he actually threw the ball in the middle of the field a couple times.
Yep.
And that's something that everybody's been talking about. That's been a thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any George Pickens memes, DK memes. I haven't seen any of those in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
All those comparisons and stuff. So, and he's throwing the ball at that elite level that we know. Now the numbers aren't
he was
what they
firing the
were.
ball last night.
Right, the numbers aren't what they were, but if you're looking at it on film, Aaron's making those throws. He's throwing a lot of checkdowns too, but that's what's there. You take what the defense could give you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're checking it down to Kenny G or to Jalen, like these guys turn nothing into something more times than not.
Yeah.
And so,
you look at the team like that have like the Gibbs and the Bijan. They check down to those guys all the time. They say go make a play.
Yep.
So if we have a guy like that, why not check it down to him?
Yep. There was a third down play that we both were like, Aaron, like there's three guys right there. Like just get it to one.
That was the worst play.
I think that might have been the play where he looked around and then he got sacked or something. And I was like, just throw it to one of them. Like I don't know why they're all standing right there, but like throw it to one of them.
Yeah, that was a weird play call. But hey, nothing's going to be.
I can't complain though, because after that we went down right before the half, got the tush push touchdown, and then came out and scored again. You know what I mean?
Tush push looks good for us right now.
Huh?
The tush push looks good for us right now.
Yeah, they actually
look like they know how to do it.
They line up okay, they actually snap the ball. Nobody jumps off, So it's been successful the past couple of times, which is great. And then for some reason, I think Aaron just wants to just troll people when he stands back there. He
does. 100, you know him.
Yeah, so
it's hilarious. I can't lie though. It is just funny because it's such a jerk thing for like him to do.
Yeah.
And but he like knows that it's a jerk thing, so he's just like, I'm just gonna rock it, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So it stands like this, and then it's.
But if the ball pops out and it's a fumble, like now what? But whatever. So I'm happy with the win. It's something that we needed for sure because Baltimore beat Cincinnati. They beat the hell out of Cincinnati. So all signs are pointing towards that. Week 18 looking like a win-in situation for either team. Obviously, we control what that's going to look like, man. We could wrap this division up before we even play them if we do what we got to do. They got two tough matchups, but we got two tough matchups as well. I won't look past Cleveland at all because it's a division game. I'm not going to look past them. It's a division game in Cleveland, and you can't look past that. So we got Detroit this week in Detroit. Then we got to go to Cleveland. So we got two away games, and then we got home game against Baltimore. They got to go. They got their home against the Patriots. Then I think they got to go to Green Bay, and then they come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So Detroit is desperate for a win right now. Yep. They are desperate for a win, and they've lost some tough games. So this upcoming week is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, they're fighting for their playoff lives, man. So offensively, we got to make sure that we get Dylan Cook some help because Aiden Hutchinson is.
He's coming. He's coming.
Premier guy, man. He's got that motor. He's one of them ones, man. Myles Garrett is who he is, but Aiden's different, man.
The thing is, I'm not even so worried about the defense as I am as the explosive offense. But
that's what I mean because we got to put points on the board to keep up with those guys. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like we have to make sure that we keep Aaron upright and that we're getting points on every drive because they're going to get theirs. You know what I mean?
The key to play when playing Detroit, and it's been for like the past 4, 5, 6 years, is have Detroit take the lead, have them get out to a quick lead, and then in the fourth quarter they're going to lose it. Because if you're beating Detroit in the fourth quarter, odds are they're going to come back against you. So it's like if Detroit is leading in the fourth, I'm not even going to be too worried because I'm like they're going to squander it at some point. So we'll see how that plays out.
But
But it's
yeah,
it's an interesting matchup for Pittsburgh. This is a matchup that I don't know if I can compare it to anything that we've seen all season,
no,
especially with with playoffs on the brink and them desperately needing a win. But their offense is so explosive, and they're gonna show us things that the Steelers have not seen. So it's going to be a tough one, and hopefully the defense comes ready.
yeah, because they just gotta come down and make these tackles, man.
Yeah,
Because
contain Gibbs.
Jameer and Montgomery, man, once they get going, if they get going, it's gonna be a long day. Like
Yeah,
that's just point blank. If they get going, it's gonna be a long day.
don't let Jameson
It's very
behind that.
difficult.
Behind
It's
the
very difficult to
defense.
keep both of those guys, contained in one game.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen often.
no,
But if we can find a way to make sure that we get those guys on the ground and cover the middle of the field for once, because St. Brown will go crazy. And then
yep,
if you can't cover the middle of the field, then you start to adjust, and then Jameson's going to bust you over the top.
exactly.
So they got many different ways of making it happen. And like you said, man, they fighting for their playoff lives. So
Yep.
you got a wounded animal that's really desperate. We know the Dolphins, they knew they had a far-fetched chance to make it in.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is a completely different team. Detroit Lions at home must win. I think if they lose, they might be out of contention at this point. So we got to make sure that we match the energy. We don't got the explosive firepower, but yes, we do. MVS is out there. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, MBS. We got Gainwell now.
MVS,
So
Gainwell, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen will catch one pass for 5 yards, and
every game, that's all we need from
that's
him.
all we need. And our offense will just put up if we put up 28 points again, I'll be happy with that. But I think we're gonna need 35, 38. This week,
Yeah.
to really get this win, because you can't be. This is not going to be a game that's going to be comfortable. Regardless, these guys can take it 85 yards at any given point.
Unless somehow we control time of possession, which Steelers aren't great at doing that. But unless that happens, we can keep it a little bit low scoring. It's just the Lions are going to get out and go. They're going to be running. So
yeah. So
it's going to.
I was looking at the injury report. These guys are missing their entire secondary. And that's something that needs to be taken advantage of. Even their backups.
Oh, for sure.
Even their backups are hurt at this point, and so as long as we can hold up on the front end, then we can maybe wiggle free and make some plays on the back end there. Take some shots deep.
Yep.
That's gonna be important. Win those 50-50 matchups. So DK, I'm expecting Aaron to take a few shots and see if DK comes down with some. And we got to just capitalize on any of the opportunities that they give us defensively, because we know where they're going to be going offensively all over the place. They're gonna make it happen.
Exactly.
I think it's gonna be a close one. This might have to be the highest scoring game that we have offensively in order to win it.
Since week one.
Yeah. We scored 34 that day. I think, like I said, man, we're gonna need 37, 38 to get this to win. I think what they lost 34-41 or something like that the other day.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna need a lot of points. Is this team capable against that defense? I'll say maybe.
Yeah.
They've been giving it up like that. They gave up 40 points and won. I think they beat Baltimore, giving up 40 points or something like that. But can the Steelers score 40 points?
No.
I don't.
No.
I don't know. I don't see that.
I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but no.
Yeah, defensively, man, we gotta force a turnover. You know what I mean? A strip sack. If we get in Goff's face and knock him around, man, he's soft.
No, absolutely.
He gets knocked around early and often, then I think we do got a good chance. I have this in the beginning of the season. I have this as a loss. I will probably still keep it at that for now.
Me too.
Just for the fact of, like I said, man, the firepower versus firepower, and that's me not being optimistic about my team and whatever. How often you hear me speaking positively about these guys anyway. So
I think all Steelers fans can be on the same page of, we know what they're going into. We know that how good the Detroit offense is and how explosive they are, and our offense isn't necessarily explosive at all. And I think it's fair that we can be like, yeah, we're going to chalk this one up to a loss because I had it as a loss before the season started, and I'm kind of with you. I'm going to keep it there.
Yeah.
Just because again, it's the consistency we haven't seen week by week. So
Right.
let's hopefully if we get the same Steelers team that we saw against the Dolphins, then okay, then we have a real shot. But let's get a couple weeks of this consistency of what we're seeing.
Right. And it's no knock on the team. It's just what they've shown us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The defense has been lights out, but then the defense has had their lights knocked out. So which defense are we going to see? I guess that would be the difference. Derek Harmon, I think, is coming back this week. Pierre Island is open again this week. But I don't know what that's going to look like in terms of the rotation because I didn't see a lot of echoes out there yesterday.
I didn't either. Yeah,
I saw him in toward the end of the game. But I think Asante actually he got his feet under him now. So we'll see what that rotation looks like. Now that we'll have all the corners healthy again. Which is something that we haven't had in a while. So we'll see what that looks like. We're going to need them all. That's just how I see it. All the linebackers, we're going to need them all. These guys are going to have us running for 60 minutes. All the pregame motions and all of that. I mean, pre-snap motions and everything that they like to run. It's going to be a busy day. So if we could get off the field on third downs, limit that time of possession, I think we got a shot. But those are big ifs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in an away game. They're not out in the cold playing against us. So we'll see how it goes, man. Like I said, I'm not confident that they'll win it. I just want to see them continue to compete, continue to put it together.
Absolutely, I agree. I'm with you on everything that you said. So
then we got 2 more division games, and then we can wrap it up.
Yep, definitely.
And then,
let's play week by week.
I got to cheer for the Patriots this week, which makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, that makes me sick too, but it is what it is.
Yep.
It's whatever. But if you want to chat it up, later this week, you just let me know. I'm happy we're back this week. Obviously, again, last week there was stuff going on, and you got to handle some personal things that come my way. I had to, so I'm happy to be back on the pod with you this week, and let's just continue next week, hopefully, or later this week. You just let me know.
Yes, sir. Is that a 1:00 game or 4:00 this week?
I didn't check to see. I would imagine that seems like a 4:00 game, but I don't know for sure.
Man, all right, brother. So we will we'll figure it out what the next episode is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. You just give me a holler, and we'll be in talks either way. And get some clean water. Keep helping the people out. All right, man.
Yes, sir, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy.